The Last of Us 2 release date, delay, trailers. The Last of Us 2, or The Last of Us, Part 2, if we're using its proper name, is the long-anticipated sequel to the iconic post-apocalyptic narrative game and is likely to be one of the biggest PS4 games to launch this year. Unfortunately, when exactly that will happen is a bit of a question mark, as Sony has announced that the game will be delayed indefinitely due to logistic problems caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The good news is that the game is almost finished, largely bug fixes at this point, and will likely be available as soon as Sony can figure out a way to get it safely into customers' hands. According to game director Neil Druckmann, Sony and Naughty Dog are looking at all sorts of different options. What's the best way to get it to all of our fans as soon as possible? That's going to take time. Given the first game was hailed by players and critics alike as a masterpiece with excellent, emotional storytelling and engaging, realistic characters, we have to admit that the decision to release a follow-up isn't particularly shocking, even if the end of the game seemed pretty conclusive. We'd probably have been more surprised if there wasn't one. And yet, when The Last of Us 2 was first announced back in 2016, we'd be lying if we said our hearts didn't skip a beat. This latest, indefinite delay is the second time The Last of Us 2 has been delayed since it was announced, but we'll be sure to update you when Sony has something new to share. For now, here's everything we know about The Last of Us 2 so far. The Last of Us 2 trailers. The most recent trailer for The Last of Us 2 is also its initial release date announcement trailer. Shown during the September 2019 State of Play stream, it revealed the game's initial release date and shows Ellie in action as well as a glimpse at Joel. Check it out below in the description. Probably the most emotion-evoking Last of Us 2 trailer was shown during E3 2018. This trailer finally gave us a look at Ellie in an intimate scene before cutting away to some of the brutal but stealth-based combat we can expect to see in the game when it's launched. The gameplay sequence gives us a look at Ellie fighting for her life in the wild. Success in a fight appears to require the right balance between stealth and all-out attack, as damage seems to have a more realistic impact. Ellie can move quietly between areas, taking weapons from bodies and crafting, before bursting out and taking down her enemies. It's a different creature in many ways to the original The Last of Us, but it looks like something to look forward to, with more advanced enemies to challenge us and more complex gameplay to thrill us. The Last of Us 2 release date. The Last of Us 2 was initially due to release on February 21, 2020. However, Naughty Dog later announced that the game's release date was being pushed back to May 29, 2020. The game's director, Neil Druckmann, apologized in a blog post and explained that the developer wanted to prioritize game quality over a punctual launch. "We realized we simply didn't have enough time to bring the entire game up to a level of polish we would call Naughty Dog quality," Druckmann wrote. Unfortunately, due to the coronavirus pandemic, it was then delayed a second time in early April 2020 when Sony said that it needed time to sort out logistical issues around the game and give the team at Naughty Dog some more time to finish up. Sony and Naughty Dog have yet to announce a new release date for the game, and its listing has been pulled from the PlayStation Store.